Good evening in Shenanigai. It's all happening. We're back in the room. Back in the magic room. The Leaden Cave. Shangri-La, indeed.
Hello, friends.
Yes, hope you're all awesome. Look who it is. It's this guy.
Happy New Year. Hello, everyone. Welcome to VCQ. I've just realised we've sat down ready to do a live show. I don't have any kind of computing device in front of me.
No.
Which is problematic, Daniel. Which I shall fix that presently.
Okay.
How are we all? Well, I hope.
Yeah. How are you?
All right. Better than you.
Yeah.
As you can see, Dan has had a new brain fitted.
Check it out.
Show the people your new brain.
Trying to have
Dan.
a look?
Yeah.
It's a bit full on. But here you go.
Show the people.
See if it get that.
Show the people.
There you go.
Down a bit. Down a bit. There you go. There you go. Nice. Dan has had major cranial surgery. Actually, that's not true. Dan has had
Minor cranial surgery.
minor surgery to his head to remove his brain.
Yeah.
So a bit Jack
Mick was finally fed up. He's like, that's it.
I know.
Come with me, son.
Lobotomy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Lobotomy, you.
I'd much rather a full bottle in front of me than a full frontal lobotomy.
That's very good.
Actually, we shouldn't joke. In the town where I live, exists apparently the last person on whom a legal lobotomy was.
No.
Yeah. I'm not going to say any more because it's probably protected by all sorts of legal things.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, welcome. It talks of lobotomies. Steve Lukather once had a cabinet on the bottom of one of his amplifiers that was called Los Lobotomos, which I think was because he was in a band called Los Lobotomos.
Right. That's very good.
It was a 212 that sat under his 412.
Yes.
Rivera, maybe?
But that's, I had a thing on my head, which I was very conscious of, and it's why I've been wearing a hat for like the last, I mean, I like hats, but it got to be an issue.
It was a fatty lump.
It was a fatty lump.
Yeah.
But it's been removed. And then, yeah. But I can't wear a hat at the moment. I can't put a hat on over the stitches. So stitches come out on Friday. But, you know, we're going to crack on.
So you were awake when they did it?
Yeah, it was amazing. Amazing doctor.
Did he use a sword?
Yes, he can't. He exploded into the room.
Turned up in full medieval gear.
What's that guy from Blackadder? Woof! Like sword out. It was brilliant. Yeah.
Full broadsword.
Yep.
Don't worry, son. I've done this before.
Freedom, McLeod.
Sorry, we really should log on and make sure we're actually broadcasting and not broadcasting.
Massive hi to anyone that joined me in Brisbane for at Pedal Empire to catch up and make some noise and stuff. It was really great fun. Yes, so just back from Australia recently, had an amazing time. Yeah, hooked up with lots of great people. It was great. Gonna have to do it again. Gonna have to drag you out there with me at some point. Yeah, come on. Be awesome. Where there's a way, there's...
Where there's a will, there are fighting relatives. Good. Obviously I just can't get in as usual. Shambolic as ever, that pedal show. We hope you all had a lovely festive break and you managed to get some sort of break.
You had a break, right?
Whether you go in for the whole Jesus thing or not, hopefully it's a good excuse for a break anyway. Yeah, we did. Yeah, we had a lovely break. Didn't come in here at all, which is really unusual. Really unusual. I've forgotten how any of this works.
Yeah.
Is the truth of the matter.
Good. I've got jet lag, so forgive me if I'm yawning. I'm very excited. I was so looking forward to coming in today. I went to the office this morning and did a couple of things that I had to do and telling everyone how excited I was to see you, Michael.
Oh, that's nice. I was
Yes.
excited to see you.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah. We've got Elliot Green on. We've got Sean Finch on. We've got Blues Git on. We've got David Burke on. Hi, David.
Hi, David.
Andreas Johansson. We've got Neil Tutman on. We've got Brian Carpenter. Hi, Brian. Michael Giliberto. Justin Baylog. Dan Sokolowski. Sent of a wheelchair pillow, as always. Paul Matulovic is on. Hey, Paul.
Hey, Paul.
And Eagle, Ray Robb. Ed Airfire is on. Ranzer. Joe Halliday. Matt McGrath. Whit is on. Whit Anderson. Woo! Sam Colson and Duncan Plexico. We've got the whole crew of friends old and new in here.
That's lovely.
So it's really nice that you could join us. Right, come on. All I'm trying to do is find this one specific page, which is funny when you don't do something for a while, isn't it? And you forget how to do it. Like riding a bike, for example.
Indeed.
Or playing the guitar. Oh, here we are. I've made it work down.
Oh, well done.
That's good.
Well done.
Does seem to be in quite bad quality, but there we are. Thanks to BV for moderating and being with us today. No doubt I shall have a text message or three telling us how many. Yeah, okay. We got 20 super chats in. I think maybe we'll cut it off there for today and give ourselves a fighting chance of getting going, Dan. So I'm about to turn the super chats off. If you have super chatted, we shall answer you, but they will be turned off
momentarily.
Maintenant.
In 3, 2, 1.
I feel like there's a whole new world open to us. Matt Swanton says, greeting from Massachusetts. Just did my first wet dry gig, and I'm ruined.
It'll do it to you.
It is hard to come back from there, Matt, unfortunately.
Yep.
G Barge. When TPS returns as normality. Yes.
Oh, bless you, mate.
Yes.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for joining us, one and all. Tout le monde. Leyland Berg is on. Abnormal, he says. Absolutely. Happy new numbers, says Liam Ball Sculpture. Yeah, we put on a few. Is he a drummer now? Says Jay Lukmo.
Oh, now that I've had cranial surgery done. So
Nice.
I see where you're going with that.
Yeah. Dylan Brisbane is on. Hello from Melbourne, which is confusing in itself.
So
hope you're both doing well.
we had to fly into Melbourne. We flew with Etihad, and they fly to Abu Dhabi from Melbourne. So we had to go from Brisbane to fly to Melbourne, then from Melbourne out to Abu Dhabi. And there was a stopover, so I took the kids down to Luna Park and
nice.
St Kilda.
Nice.
To show them where I used to play at the Espy loads in Melbourne. I'd forgotten what a awesome place St Kilda is. It is just brilliant fun.
I think I remember having some good food there once.
Yeah, it's
Long time ago.
St Kilda's
obviously.
wonderful.
Yeah, Gordon Rankin is on. Hello, Gordon. Steve Cassidy guitar. The Itchy Brother is on. Jesse Yasaitis is on. And So I Stopped is on. Hi, Tony. Joshua Jukabowski is on. And who else haven't we mentioned? Michael Vondenhoff says
Moon
hello.
is on.
Scott from the streets of Baltimore is on.
Very good.
Ron Leslie, Tim Halligan, Tim Lurch. Hey Tim,
Hey,
how you
buddy.
doing? How you doing, buddy? Hope you're well. Yes, good. Robert Lewis says that's the first Blackadder reference in quite a while.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember his name.
Percy? No.
No,
Oh Lord. Come on.
someone
You can
let us
help
know.
us. It's Rick Mail.
Where have you
wasn't it?
been? Where haven't I been? Woof!
Yeah, Lord Swashbuckle or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, something like that. Wonderful.
Yeah. Anyway, if anyone could remind us of Rick Mayall's character in Blackadder, where he's the Flash,
Yes, come on, you're getting there.
Lord Flash Heart,
Flash Heart, there you go.
James Blessed, John
in
Pardo,
first. Yeah, well
Paul
done.
Simmons. James, thanks for the invitation to your party. We'll see. James is having a 50th.
Oh, cool.
We'll see. Depends on date and location. But if we don't, have a great one.
You're getting dinged from everywhere.
I know, I need to turn it off on here.
Oh, because you're into your Apple Watch now, because you're doing your steps.
I am. I up my calorie count target for the day.
What does that mean?
Well,
you need to.
rings,
Oh, okay, right.
You have to tell it what you're going for.
Right.
I think it's under. I mean, this morning I did a 33-minute run, which with a bit of walking is about 4K, because it's up a lot of hills.
And 17 calories.
No, it was not very many. And then a 12-minute row, and all of that was less than 500 calories. So I think that's low. But it doesn't matter. The actual number doesn't matter. All that matters is the consistency from day to day.
That's very good.
Anyway, there we are.
I can't exercise properly for till the end of the month.
Because of your head.
It's I'm going crazy. Also, it's like so cold in the mornings, and I'm trying to go for like a gentle stroll, and the breeze blowing off my noggin
because you can't put a hat on.
Can't put a hat on.
It was cold this morning.
It
Wasn't
was brutal. Yeah. It was 42 degrees some days in Australia, and I mean it is brutally hot. But there are ways to deal with it. But man, I come back into the cold, and then sometimes at night it gets so cold that it wakes you up. It's so cold. It's like, this is hard.
I'm the opposite. I can't do the hot. Cold, great, but all the time, every day, pretty much every day you were away, it rained.
Because it was sad that I was gone.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
I think that's it. And then, so when it wasn't raining this morning and yesterday, for the first days that I can remember, I was like, yes. Because 2 dog washes a day gets old.
Yeah.
Gets really old. Anyway, enough of all that.
Yeah.
Plexico, first super chat this week.
Hey, Duncan. First super chat of 2024.
Yeah,
come on.
We are filming tomorrow as well, which is going to be really good. He says, Happy New Year. Any Christmas gear to share? Peace.
I picked up 2 pedals in Australia. I picked up the Del Amer from Sikaz, Bondi FX.
Oh, nice. And what is that?
It's this like a low medium gain overdrive, and I'm going to have it on the show. It is outrageously good. And so basically I did a challenge because we filmed a little bit with Pedal Empire, and I did an all Aussie board, right?
Oh, nice. Dingo Drive.
Dingo Drive, yeah. The
Ayers Rock Reverb.
Yeah. The Goanna. I'll go with dingoes. And
the Brisbane of my pedalboard.
Oh, very good. Fuzzmania.
Yeah, nice.
Like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, yeah.
So I grabbed a few things, and I played that on the board, and I played it like I'm bringing that home. It was freaking amazing. But the other one was the Clinch Effects EP Pre.
Oh, yeah, no idea.
Clinch Effects, they were the first guys to do an EP Pre in a pedal.
Oh, no way.
Right? But, Mick, you've got to hear this thing. It is, honestly...
Are you coming back here telling me I've got to listen to an overdrive pedal?
No, it's like, it's the EP booster that you've always wanted to have. It's got, so those are my 2.
Nice.
Yeah.
I did pick up a guitar, more of which in a minute, which is not for Christmas, it's for my 50th birthday. But I have jumped the gun by 2 and a bit months.
What are we doing for your birthday?
I don't know yet. I've just spent all the money on a guitar, so sitting in an alleyway with a cheap bottle of cider.
I'll sit in the alleyway with you with the bottle of cider.
More of which in a minute. To wit, a
To
little bit of housekeeping before we get on. Thanks to everyone who entered the patrons Christmas Effectsmas 12 pedals giveaway. We gave away 12 pedals all in one hit rather than going for daily things because it's just too much admin. But we gave away some really nice stuff, and everyone who's won has been contacted. So actually all the pedals except one have been actually sent out the door. So congratulations to those 12. Thanks to everyone who got involved. We'll have news of January's giveaway next week, whatever that's going to be. And further, related to my purchase for my birthday, there is a page at thatpedalshow.com. If you go to the More tab at the top, which is called Personal Gear for Sale, Dan and I are going to be offloading some personal gear. Not stuff we've been sent for That Pedal Show, stuff we've owned ourselves for a long time, bought with our own money, etc. Stuff that we're selling to help fund new purchases. So if you fancy any of that, check out the website and you'll see some stuff on there. As far as I'm aware, Blue has gone.
Blue, I cannot believe it. I cannot believe it. Blue has been sold.
Yeah, it has.
Are you going to?
I need to, Michael, if you're watching this, I need to send you an email to say it went to the first person who expressed an interest. So, or it's going to the first person who expressed an interest. So, weeping.
A little bit sad.
Yeah. Anyway, there's some other stuff on there. Thatpedalshow.com. Check some stuff. There'll be more stuff going on and off there. Dan and I need to raise some cash to buy some other stuff. More of which in a bit.
This is a toy guitar.
So
that one's far away.
What you need to know is no haggling, no trades, and most of it can only be collected. So international things are a problem with guitars and amps, not least because of the tax situation, import duties, and insanity of shipping large items. So it's going to be predominantly UK based, with apologies to our American friends. There are some pedals, we can ship them, but please be aware that they'll be subject to US import tax. Enough selling. Anyway, there you go. Yeah, Blue hasn't actually left the building, Eagle Ray, Rob yet, and Robert Nolan, but hopefully will be leaving the building in the next week or two.
Yeah, Robert Nolan. Wow, this is a big deal. Blue. I mean, yes, it is a big deal.
It's not for me.
No, it's not for you.
And I funnily enough, I had a conversation with someone about it. Said, yeah, but you need to realise that guitar means something to people who watch TPS. I'm like, yeah, I actually that means something to me.
Yeah.
But the guitar, it needs to be with somebody who wants it to play it and for it to inspire them. And that goes for everything that we're going to move on. It's not that we don't like it or we don't want it. It's A, we need the cash to buy more stuff. But B, these instruments should be being used by people.
Yeah.
To inspire them to play. So that's my justification for getting rid of a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
And this is just the beginning. I'm telling you, this is just the beginning. I'm in a clearing out mood.
It'll be That Pedal Show. We'll just have the Clon left.
Yeah.
Single
pedal
show.
That's the one thing I'm not going to sell. I thought about selling the Clon, and everyone around me said, don't sell the Clon. It's dumb to sell the Clon.
Yeah.
So anyway, there we are. So sorry for the advert, but that's what's happening.
Stone, thank you, mate. That's very kind. Yeah. Joe Halliday, no way. I very nearly asked about Blue too. He ended up with a 77 Strat instead. The 70 Strats are find a good one. They're awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, can be.
Brett Hussey says, where's the sale going on? So it is
That Pedal Show Store.
Thatpedalshowstore.com.
Navigate to the More tab and you'll see a thing that says personal gear for sale. There'll be more stuff will get added to it over time. Dan's going to sell a few things that you might be surprised about as well.
I'm selling, well, there's 2 guitars I'm selling. I'm going to sell, no. I'm selling this one. So this is the 61 Les Paul reissue SG.
It's not up yet. Just
it's not up yet, but
Dan's stuff isn't up yet.
No, but I will be selling this one.
Catherine's coming in to tell us we got something wrong.
You said That Pedal Show Store.
No.
Thatpedalshow.com.
Yeah, I just said thatpedalshow.com.
No, you said store.
Oh, sorry. Thatpedalshow.com, not thatpedalshowstore.com. Thatpedalshow.com. I'm really sorry. Not the store. Thatpedalshow.com, not the store. I'm really sorry. Yeah. Anyway.
So I'm selling this, and I'm going to be selling my 65 Telecaster.
There you go. All change. Why, Dan?
I just want to play this. Every time I pick up any Telecaster in the world now, and I compare it to this, I'm just connected with this guitar in a way that I don't connect to with any other guitar. So I would rather sell the 65 and put it towards an old SG.
There you go. Which is what I've done. There'll be a whole vlog on this to come. Thanks to Thorpe via Dan Coggins, I have bought a 1965 Gibson ES345, and it is... That was nice.
very good.
So anyway, I'll be telling this guitar story.
It is the most astonishing guitar.
It's original as far as I can see. Maybe the bridge has been changed, but the pickups and the electronics are original. So it is going to get modified quite considerably, but it's quite the beast. And it's all in the spirit of downsizing to some fine things.
Yeah.
Things that really inspire you and that you've always wanted. So anyway, I'll make some videos on that, and you'll see it happening in the... But it's cost me
A lot of money.
well, actually the guitar was a really good price for what it is, but it has put me in a financially precarious position, which is why I'm having to sell some things. So anyway.
Yeah.
Yes. Anyway, enough of that. Let's get on with the questions. Dooby-dooby-doo. Sam Colson. Hi, Sam. He says, so pleased to have VCQ back. What are the big TPS plans for the year? Any more experience days? I've been before, but would love to come back. Yeah, we're booked solidly through this year for experience days. We have been talking about doing something slightly different, because a couple of people have been a couple times to experience days, same person on a couple of dates. And while they've had a lovely time the second day, and I think they would say that they enjoyed it just as much as the first day, we kind of want to try and keep experience days for first timers all the time, because the places are severely limited, and that first experience of the place is magic. So we want to add some other stuff which we will offer to people that have been before. That's maybe a different form of experience day. So it might be like a day on fuzz, or a day on strats, or a day on whatever it might be, a bit more specialised. So that's the loose plan with that.
Mm-hmm.
No comms have gone out about that yet, and obviously people who have signed up to the mailing list and patrons will hear about all that stuff first. So if you're not on our mailing list, please sign up, and if you're not a patron, then consider doing that, because that's where you get access to everything first. Plans wise, Dan and I was talking earlier, we're going to move the studio around.
Yeah.
I forgot my contact lenses. Didn't wear them once over Christmas.
You didn't wear your contacts at all over Christmas?
No, and I've forgotten I have them.
Okay.
I've just realised I've got contact lenses to help with this whole crap. And
Start as you mean to go on.
I know. Well, the thing is, right, contact lenses no good far,
Yeah. Oh, really?
and not
Okay.
great mid to far. So I don't want to be driving with them in, to be honest.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
I mean,
Would you get laser surgery?
according to the
That's what I tried to have in mine, but they missed.
yeah, I would have laser surgery if I had the cash, but I'd rather spend it on guitars.
Now I just keep trying to left.
Anyway, sorry. So we're talking about moving the studio about to feel a bit different, just so that we can feel a bit different and it all feels a bit different.
Yeah.
So that's one thing we're going to do. More guests, more of the same, really. More things that inspire us. We are going to start a format where 6 people come in and we do the show.
And only one leaves.
We do the show for 6 people, and there'll be some element of participation, i.e. what do you think? What do you want to hear? What are we not doing that you want us to do? So it's a bit more interactive. We are going to start doing that, etc.
Sorry, I'm still laughing at my own joke.
It never changes. So yeah, that's it, Sam. And just hopefully listening to you guys for what you want and trying to deliver as much of that as possible.
Yeah. I'm quite excited about this year. We've been in discussion about some ideas and just have been very inspired by, and not just inspired, but encouraged to take my own look into my own mental health journey the way Mick has done, and I think there'll be parts of that in. I really like the format. What we were talking about before, the
Pedalboard SOS.
no the just this like the
Naked mud wrestling.
That's the one. That'll be great. But you know, like a podcast format, and there's some
Yes.
really cool
Yeah,
conversations to be had between you and me with some interesting guests and stuff. I've had a fascinating realization. Someone asked me last week how I was going with my EP, and I've worked out what it is. I had quite a stressful year last year, right up till certainly the first half of the year was very stressful. And one thing that I've realized with creativity, as soon as that stress comes on, the first thing that goes
Yeah.
is creative. It's like the very first thing.
But you know why, right? Because stress is all psychological time,
yeah.
and creativity is only possible in conscious presence.
Yes.
Literally only possible when you're present.
Right.
So
I think this is a really interesting conversation.
everything
to have.
you pour in that takes you away from being present
Yep.
kills any kind of
Yeah.
hope for any kind of creativity.
Yeah.
In fact, it's almost the best motivation of all to get out of psychological time.
Yeah.
Because you can't. Because when you're out of that and you are in a state of presence, that's when flow can happen. And flow is creativity. And just not being attached to the result, doing it for the purpose of doing it. I mean, I'm preaching here as if I've got a high output. My output has been pitiful. But I think once you see that little glimpse of doing it. So I can't wait, mate. I can't wait. And I will help you.
I would love that.
Yeah.
I would love that. I do need some help to
Yeah.
finish it off.
I think that's the thing, isn't it? It's the point where you go, actually, if I do this by myself, it's going to take another 3 years. If I get some help, maybe it'll only take 3 months.
It's all done apart from the vocals on 2 tracks.
Yeah.
And I cannot do it myself.
Let's come and do it then.
Yeah, okay, that'd be wonderful.
We've got a nice vocal chain.
Yeah, we do. But so I've a few conversations like that, and also interacting with different artists and talking about this stuff, because I think these are really important conversations to have. They could possibly make a real difference. You know, that whole thing of, you know, actually understanding what being in psychological time is, just being able to be present. Because again, on the way here today, I put Eckhart on, and I'm like, he's in like the top 3 playlist in my car.
I think you might be ready for the second book.
I've tried the second book and struggled.
Maybe now's the time.
Maybe now's the time. I'll give it a go.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's 5:30. We've done one question.
Yeah, we're
sorry,
completely
guys.
rubbish. Brett Hussey says, please get Charlie Burchill to the show.
Well, I watched a video of him
You know
yesterday. Yeah, Charlie. Of course, I love Charlie. He's a dear friend. Yes, I'll give him a shout and get him on the show. Yeah, he is amazing.
Moon says, get some new chairs to spice things up. That is one thing on the list.
Yeah, totally. We're going to go. Do you remember Mork and Mindy?
Nanu.
No, those egg chairs that he would sit in. Can we please get 2 of those?
Yeah.
And we redo all of this. We do the
In the Mork and Mindy set.
Mork and Mindy set. Come
Okay.
on!
Can I be
I
Mindy?
would love that. That'd be awesome.
Can I be Mindy? Andrew Jones says, are experience days limited to patrons? No, they're not. Sign up. If you go to thatpedalshow.com or thatpedalshowstore.com, either of one of those, you'll find a place to sign up for our store mailing list. If you sign up to that, you'll get advance notification, I think at the same time as patrons. Good. David Broche says, what's your booth number at NAMM? Smiley face. We're not going to NAMM. I was wavering. I looked at the prices a couple of days ago, and it's actually the flights and the hotels are very affordable at the moment.
Right.
But we've got an experience day,
Oh, okay,
so
great.
we can't go. Yeah.
What's the date?
It's the last weekend in January.
Right, okay.
Yeah. Good. Let's move along. Whit Anderson. Hello, Whit.
Hello, Woo.
He says, "Hi, gents. The Jocelyn Gould episode was great, inspiring and a bit intimidating in a wholesome way. The most relatable moment for me was when Mick was digging for his pick and visibly thinking, 'Is my thumb bendy?' We were both doing it. Jocelyn's talking about using her thumb and the tone that comes therefrom, and was quite important to have a thumb that bends back, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. And have you seen Doug's thumb?
Drummer Doug?
Yeah.
No.
It's almost like a horseshoe.
Wow.
It's terrifying.
Wow.
Yeah.
Joe Halliday. Hello,
G'day,
Joe.
mate.
He says, "What an amazing episode to start the year. Mikey was without a doubt the coolest guy in the UK. Hands up who attempted to buy a version 1 whammy." So Mikey Demas, Friday's show. If you haven't watched it, please do so. Mikey was extolling the virtues of the V1 whammy with aplomb. And Joe says, "Did you learn anything that challenged your preconceptions of his gear?"
Of Mikey's gear?
Yeah.
Not really.
I was really sad he didn't bring any orange amps.
Bring what?
Any orange amps.
Oh, that was sad.
Yeah. I
That
did
would've
think
been-
about getting in touch with Orange and saying, "Can you just send us a couple of things, please?"
Yeah.
Like an OR50 and a...
An OR50 would be
I don't even know if
killer.
they still do it. Trem, whatever it's called. Verbo, Rocket. One of the powerful high-end ones anyway. Because then we'd use it. Yeah. Preconceptions? No.
The stuff that he was playing, I know quite well. But what was nice, he is a great guitar player. His rhythm and the textures that he gets in with the rhythm stuff was just awesome.
Yeah.
You know, just an absolute riff machine, and it was nice hearing those riffs being inspired by these different sounds. You know, that was very, very cool.
It is interesting because like if you just open up your Instagram feed, if you follow the kind of people that I do anyway, there's loads of Instagram guitar players, which could be a disparaging comment, but people who are really sort of fluid and amazing and make you sick and want to give up. And people like Mike Venart and Mikey are kind of not, I wouldn't say the opposite of that, but they are focused solely on playing music for songs in band environments.
Yeah.
So when you get them in this environment,
Totally.
Paul Stacey's the same. Little bit uncomfortable with the whole thing because sat there playing a stool and chumming on in a sort of Instagram manner is not their forte.
No.
So, and that is what I like about Mikey. And having mentioned Mike Venart, that thing with really aggressive high output pickups into relatively gained amps is a world that's so far away from my comfort zone.
Yeah.
When I play it, it sounds clanky and ugly and horrible. When they play it, it sounds flipping godlike. And so as far as preconceptions go, Joe, it's just sort of a reminder, yet another reminder to say, it's okay. However you want to do it, whatever makes the connection, you do that.
Yeah.
And don't be worried about what other people
Absolutely.
do. And I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Rhett Scholl's on.
Hey,
G'day, mate.
Rhett, how are you, buddy?
Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year to you, man.
Rhett, well, there's another stool that you'd look great here. Just about here.
Maybe this is the year for Rhett
Yeah.
and TPS to do something together.
Yeah, that'd be wonderful.
Yeah, I believe you've just got a 2-rock as well, Rhett. Did I see you've just got a 2-rock? Congratulations. Matt McGrath. Hello, Matt. Matt says, "Leg ends, welcome back. Picked up both versions of the Halcyon by Origin Effects, and I kept the gold one. The green was a bit too strident in the ear hole for me. Lucky to have serial number 4 of the black version too.
Wow.
Nice.
Nice.
So for those who don't know, Halcyon is an overdrive pedal and EQ shaper by Origin Effects. The green one is roughly Tube Screamer inspired, but it does a lot more, and the gold one is roughly Klon inspired, but it does a lot more. We've got a gold and we've yet to plug it in, so looking forward to doing that.
So Rhett has confirmed he's coming on the show. I'm taking that as confirmation, Rhett. He said, I'd love to come over and be on the show. And I'm sure in some cultures that means it's legally binding.
It's legally binding. Yeah. Well, next time you're in the UK, Rhett, please come on.
Yeah, it'd be great.
It'd be
really
great
fun.
to have you on, buddy. Joe Halliday again. Almost forgot. Happy New Year to the TPS family. I wish everyone a prosperous 2024. Us too. Thank you, mate. That's kind of you.
I'm really excited about this year. I'm excited about this year the way I wasn't about last year.
Nice.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a good one.
You know what I'm going to say, don't you?
I'm just getting in first. I think it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, cool. Yes, auspicious, shall we say. What I was going to say was, it is interesting, isn't it, how we sort of go this year, as if it's any different from, like, the next
Last
5
year,
minutes is
yeah.
any different
Yeah,
from the
yeah.
last 5 minutes. It's now, isn't it? You've got to be excited about now.
Yeah.
Is what you've got to be excited about.
But I'm always excited about now, Michael.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
it drives you nuts.
It's a trip round the sun, man.
It is.
It's a trip round the sun. Dear D and M and R B and K and H and R, says Ranzer. Hello, Ran.
G'day, mate.
Nice to hear from you, buddy. He says, wishing you all and the TPS fam a happy 2024, full of music and friendship. Couldn't join in live in a while, and I've sorely missed you. Thank you, buddy.
Ah, yeah, well, great that you're here, mate. Thank you.
Ed, Airfire, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
To Ed. He says, great to have the boys back together on my birthday. Happy birthday. What is one guitar related thing you learned over the holiday that you'd like to share with everyone?
That if I don't practice for more than a few days, I can really tell now. As I went for the longest time, like ever, and it was like 3 or 4 days where I didn't have a guitar. And when I picked up a guitar again, I was like, oh, my fingers feel so like dried seaweed, sort of flapping about like a paper bag on a barbed wire fence, flapping in the breeze.
I'd love to know what your measure of success in that is.
It's just the way it feels. Just
dexterity?
No, it's just the way. It's just how, just being connected and being comfortable, and having a thought.
So
and
you're
sort of coming
saying
out there
the thing to share is just play a little bit every day.
a little bit every day. Honestly, that little bit of consistency, amazing.
Nice.
Yeah.
I played guitar once over the holidays for New Year's Eve and the day before learning the songs.
Yeah, but you picked up the guitar before and plugged
Oh,
it in,
to
and
be
it was
fair, I
like-
did play that for an hour or so in the kitchen.
and it was like just awesome.
You sound pretty good on it.
Dude, anyone sounds good on. That's the craziest. Look, my 61 Junior has up to this point been the guitar in here. It has now been overtaken. Like,
We'll see if that plays out.
yeah, no,
We'll see if that plays out.
wait till I get my 62 SG.
You want a 64, really, if you can.
64. Wait
Yeah.
till I get my 64
Because the neck's a bit wider. That said, okay, here's the thing I've learned, Ed, is always challenge one's preconceptions, because this guitar is from 1965, right? When they made all Gibson's rubbish in 1965, or at least they made the ES guitars rubbish in 1965, because they did a few things, like change the headstock angle from 17 degrees to 14.
Oh, no way.
I don't
Okay.
know if that was 65 or just before that. They made the nuts really thin. They did a bunch of other things that people don't like that started happening same as Fender, that started happening in 1965 and went on to the end of the decade. You like that?
I do.
this guitar is fantastic. Despite
It's the most astonishing guitar.
despite all of that. Is it a 61 dot neck? No, it's not. But
345, right?
denoted,
As soon as you
denoted by the dual parallelogram inlays down here.
okay,
And some other things. Veritone, obviously. Stereo, which it will be a discussion that we have. But the good thing about 345s is because they're a bit quirky and they've got all this gubbins in, which most people get rid of. That's a discussion for another day. They're so much cheaper than 335s.
yeah, it's an astonishing guitar. I don't know how loud that is. That's killer.
But I would have not even considered a guitar like this because I would have said the neck
They're
was
too thin.
Too thin. But what it does have, like my Strat, is it tapers really nicely.
Yeah,
It gets nice and fat up
beautiful.
here. And this is not a problem at all for me.
Amazing.
And I knew
When
that.
you're doing the business.
I'm going to start a series of vlogs. Matt's going to help me. Matt from Monty's is going to help me understand these electronics, what we're going to mod, what we're not going to mod, what we might rip out, what we might leave standard. Because the original plan was to get all the stereo Veritone gubbins out and just wire it like a 335 and Bigsby it. That's what I would do. But having played it for a bit, I've gone, I think there's some more qualified questions to ask about that whole process.
I wouldn't put a Bigsby on that. I won't try it, but
You
just-
hate Bigsby's though.
no, because I'm going to put a Bigsby on the Gretsch. I think that is such a special sound. I'd be very surprised if you could improve on that with a Bigsby. I'd be very, very surprised. See,
We'll see. No decisions made. Do the electronics first because it's stereo at the moment, and that absolutely can't happen. Stereo is just not workable.
a few people asking about the colour of it. Casey Cole says that's a beautiful iced tea burst. Is that what's the
I want to say it was called Sienna Sunburst or something, or Light Sunburst.
Sienna?
I'm sure if you Google it, you'll see that it was a sunburst option, like a light sunburst. I want to say Sienna, but I could be wrong on that. It's original finish, as far as I can tell, beautifully checked, and as you can see,
don't. Yep. It's beautiful.
it's pretty serious.
Yeah, it's just incredible. It's so beautiful. That neck is insane.
Yeah.
How is it that you pick up a guitar like that, and like in seconds, I had that in my hand. In seconds, I knew it was a really serious.
I sat down with Thorpe
Serious.
and took it out of the case and played it when I went to look at it. And for the first 3 or 4 minutes, I couldn't get it in tune, couldn't get it in tune. And then it was in tune, and that was it. I couldn't stop.
Amazing.
And sometimes you just know, don't you?
Yeah.
Sometimes you just know. So I made a rash financial decision on the spot.
Very good.
So anyway, Ed, the thing I learned was, and I appreciate this probably sounds a little bit hypocritical coming from me, given all the strong opinions I have about various things. Junk your preconceptions about guitars.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I think
don't
that's
get
a
me
really
wrong.
great one.
Let me qualify that. I know that in a window of vintage Gibson ES guitars, I'm going to like them,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
There's no point I'm going to junk my opinion about a Parker Fly with carbon exoskeleton, as groovy as that might be, and as much as I might have fun playing it and enjoy it. Yeah, there are some preconceptions that are just a step too far.
Sure.
But in general, yeah. What am I saying? Play the guitar. Play the guitar and make a decision from your core rather than from your head.
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
Yeah.
Talking about heads, Simon V Radio DJ. Sorry for asking. Joined late, but are those stitches on Dan's noggin? Yes, mate. I had some work done. I had a left temple lift. Just had something cut out, so it's all good. Also, John Cantrell, thank you very much, buddy. I really appreciate that. But everyone just vibing on your guitar.
Cool. Thank you, everyone. Single Songwriter says, is that a BB King style guitar, only different colour? BB King's he's had 3 3.5s and 3 5.5s over the years. The 5.5 is the one with the square markers in the neck. The 3.5 has dots usually, except in the mid-60s when they had squares as well. 3.45 has always had dual parallelograms, and I'm not sure if B.B. King did or didn't play a 3.45. Don't know. Freddie King played a 3.45 for a minute. Loads of people going, don't mod it. You'll see in the course of the vlog why it has to be modded. It can't be used stereo. It's unusable. Yeah. In any sort of modern guitar rig. In the way that you would want it. So that does have to change, unfortunately. Yeah. Yeah.
So Jamie Brown says, isn't Dan getting rid of his 65 telly? A bit controversial when you guys have maintained, for the most part, old guitars are better. So the thing is with the 65, it's the most astonishing guitar. My issue is that I've got my sweat and blood and tears have been poured into this thing over 20 years.
Yeah.
And
some old guitars are better, not all.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, the 65 is an astonishing guitar, and as soon as I played it, it was like, I have to have it.
Yeah, I prefer it to red.
Yeah.
But then I haven't been playing red for 25 years.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, and I just going backwards and forwards between the two, and it's like, you know what? There's very few situations, realistically, where I would pick up the 65 instead of red. It's like, and the 65 is such an amazing guitar, and it deserves to be played, and I'd rather have someone out there appreciating it.
Yeah.
Than sat in a corner.
Yeah. That's exactly how I feel about blue at the opposite end of the spectrum.
Yeah, right.
George Scully says, do you still have the blonde 335? Yep, it's right there. That's not going anywhere. It's very, very different thing. When I make the vlogs, I'll do the comparison. Very, very different thing from the 345, even though they kind of ostensibly are the same thing. I find that fascinating. Loads of people getting very angry that I'm going to mod the guitar. I am going to mod the guitar, just get over it. The vast majority of them have been modded for good reason.
Yeah,
so,
for that particular reason, right?
Yeah. However, let me just say, electronically, it will be completely restorable. It will be modded in a way that will be completely restorable.
And you'll have all the old stuff, and it'll still be
there. Yeah. I'm not going to
bin it.
Bigsby aside for a second, any mod that will be completely reversible and all the original stuff will be kept. So yeah, I won't butcher it, put it that way. Mind you, I don't know if you've ever seen a Veritone circuit in a stereo Veritone anyway, in one of those guitars. There's another cavity behind the bridge pickup. Nice. With a load of gunk in it. So Gibson did a pretty good job of mutilating it when they built it. But
man, I sorry, having a laugh then, and I felt the stitches go, and
nice.
I was going through some YouTube stuff, and I saw some Greg Koch outtakes, and I swear I nearly popped the stitches in my head. I just love that man. It just tickles me. So good.
Okay,
Succubus.
Let's move along,
fellas.
Who have we got next? We've got Eagle Ray Rob. Hi Rob, nice to hear from you, buddy. He said received 150 watt TS1 just before Christmas. Love the TS1 tone. The cascading gain is a different animal. Mick, how are you dialing in a great breakup tone on the lead channel? I'm running a TS1 and a CRS in TPS wet dry. Do you use the FX loop? When I run the TS1 with the classic reverb, I don't use the overdrive channel on the TS1 because you can't really do it. Because the gain character in the 2 amps changes so massively. So I just run the clean channel in the TS1. However, if you want to do it the other way, which is kind of old school, as you're suggesting using the effects loop, what you can do is basically do 4 cable methods. So go from your guitar into your overdrive pedals, front end stuff, into the front of the TS1, out of the effects loop send of the TS1, into the wet stuff, so delays, reverbs, maybe modulations if you want to do it that way, out of those into the input of the classic reverb or the effects loop return of the classic reverb, and then that way you'll have a that's kind of how I do it with my 2 big boards on experience days. You need to draw a diagram because the full 4-cable method is slightly different from that, but basically yes, you're using, this is the way Andy Timmons does it, you're using the TS1's preamp to power both amps, which means you can switch between the channels and then you'll get the same preamp sound into both amps if you want to do it that way. It's glorious, glorious, glorious way to do it. It's how you'd approach old school wet dry as well. But when I use them together, I don't use the overdrive channel in the TS1, which it seems like a crying shame, I know. You like that amp, don't you, Dan?
Love. That amp has given me the feels.
But to answer your question, I'm just looking at it now. I have the lead gain straight up and the lead master kind of 3 o'clock, so that it is nice and loud. So not a huge amount of overdrive dialed in, but enough for it to be overdrivey, so that when I can hit it with something else, it sounds pretty good.
Yeah,
it's such a great amp. When I first got it, I thought it sounded really fizzy and weird, and then turned it up, and it's like, oh,
heavens.
Yeah, and you just
Heavens.
find that point of where it's reacting to you.
See, my revelation with that amp was I plugged the Les Paul into it, and I knew the Les Paul was going to sound great, but the flipping red into that thing, unbelievable. I thought there'd be too much mid-range from this guitar. No, just crazy good.
Yeah, because I think what you're used to is high headroom mid-range, which just sounds boxy.
Yes.
But here, that extra mid-range is producing overdrive.
Yeah.
Which is kind of what you want.
It's very special.
And it's upper mid-range as well, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. Congrats, Rob. I hope you enjoy that. Definitely pairing it with the CRS is challenging in terms of gain, but those are the 2 ways you can do it.
Yep.
You use the TS1 as the preamp for both. Draw a diagram, you'll work it out. Or just run the TS1 with its rhythm channel.
Yep.
I mean, you could. There's nothing stopping you setting the overdrive channel much louder and kicking it in, or even just a little bit more and kicking it in. That could work as well, where you get that sort of mid push out of 1 amp. That could work too. Yeah,
indeed.
Paul Matulovic. Hello, Paul.
Hey, Paul.
He said, hope you had a legendary New Year. Mine rang in with Slade singing Auld Lang Syne.
You know what I discovered? The Christmas songs in Australia are completely different.
Oh, yeah.
Like, no one had heard of Fairy Tale in New York.
Oh, wow.
God,
I started learning that. Man, that's hard. Chord change every bar.
dude, their songs are amazing.
Yeah, as I found out as I was learning it.
Yeah. That's very good.
Who are the leading Christmas artists in Australia then?
We only heard Wham once the whole time we were there,
Right.
which was upset my wife considerably. Mariah was everywhere.
Was big, yeah.
Yeah.
Are there any quintessential Australian Christmas songs?
Not well. The dingo ate my reindeer. You know,
That actually exists? No, right.
The thing is, I think over here, because it's dark and cold, and you make Christmas is a really big deal. Christmas is very different in Australia. It's a day everyone gets together and hangs out and has presents, but it's summer. Everyone's at the beach. You know what I mean? It's not Christmas in the UK is close quarters, whereas in Australia it's just not the same festive atmosphere.
Yeah.
So the Christmas songs aren't blaring everywhere the way they are here.
Yeah.
A guy named Max, thank you, buddy. That's very kind.
JD says, could the added butchery for the varitone on the 345 be the reason for it being louder unplugged? Could be, because there's more. It's slightly more
It's a lot of
hollow and it's
mass.
got some big hunks of metal. in it.
Yeah.
So could Could be. But I do find that with an older guitar where the finish is really hardened off and become one with the guitar and the thing's just been vibrating for 50 years or whatever, they do tend to be a bit resonant anyway. Well,
it makes a difference.
It's too much of a reduction to say that about all vintage guitars, but certainly the best ones I've played seem to have an acoustic resonance that has something to do with them being aged.
Sure.
Aged. Yeah.
Paul Freed, Dan, try the 61 SG without the trem bar. I have, and I love the guitar, which is why I want to look for a really, really, really good one. So I'm selling a bunch of stuff I'm going to find. Look, this is the guitar I'm going to play 90% of the time. But the other stuff has got to earn its place and be different than this. And I've really love the SG, so I'm going to find a corker.
Yeah. Yeah. Paul Kelly, How to Make Gravy, best Christmas song ever, says Brian Mills.
Yeah.
Is that a rude Christmas song?
No. Paul Kelly's a really great Australian artist. And I've played a bunch of his songs over the years.
I think, because the music I associate most fondly with Australia is Kevin Bloody Wilson, so...
Santa Claus. Oh, my word. Oh.
Let's move on. Anyway, Paul did have a question. Sorry, Paul. He says, Paul Matudovic says, did you ever get into something while the rest of the scene is in another phase?
I got into tellies when tellies were really unpopular.
Basically the story of my life, mate.
Yeah.
yeah.
My Strat was stolen. I needed a guitar for the gig, and my mate had a telly that I could borrow. But you couldn't give tellies away back when I started playing them.
I tend to be into the same thing and have been for 30 years, and it comes in and out of phase. Like bootcut jeans, for example. Not that I wear bootcut jeans, but if you look at fashion, you know, the stuff just comes around reinvented, and it's sort of the same with guitar gear. I guess being 50 and having been, you know, intimately connected with the guitar industry in my whole working life, just as and before that, you know, witnessing the birth of multi-effect, shall I say, I didn't witness the first death of valve amps when transistor amps came out, but I witnessed the second and the third. So you just see it coming back around, everything coming back around all the time, and valve amps, they really are dead now. And surprise, surprise, they never are, because for whatever reason. So I think there's that. What else? Yeah, I mean, I think if you're into electric guitar and rock music, it's different for everyone, but I remember being 13, 14 at school and playing a guitar was a little bit weird.
Okay.
And, you know, being into Quo and AC/DC in 1986 and 7. Actually, hang on, let me work it out. Yeah, in 1985, 86, when I was 12, 13, was pretty weird because everyone was into Duran Duran, The Cure, Smiths. You know, my friends weren't, certainly the girls, which was obviously what we're interested in, weren't, they thought that wearing a denim jacket and playing AC/DC was properly weird. So I guess we carry that, don't we? As people that are into...
But there's a lot of us.
Something that's not fashionable.
Yeah. There's
inherently not fashionable.
Yeah, there's a lot of us. We find our people. As we all have.
I'd be interested to know what yours are, Paul. See if there's any comments coming in on that. Yes. Gay Vald says Mick's always ahead of the game with his shoes. Ahead and behind though, isn't it? I swear the reason I've got those orange Nikes is because I can just remember the Red Hand Gang on TV, like American kids who had really cool Nike sneakers and stuff, and Converse. from a 70s TV program.
You know when you have jet lag and it comes in waves?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got one?
Just a short one. I'm going to
Yeah.
just stretch my legs for a
Nice.
second.
In which case, let's refresh ourselves with scent of a wheelchair pillow. Who says, Happy New Year!
Happy New Year, buddy.
I've been travelling the world, but glad you're back this year. Thanks for all you've done for me and my life these past 4 years.
Oh, bless you.
Likewise, I think we'd echo that to everyone watching, being involved in the TPS community. It is a pretty lovely place to be, I have to say.
Yeah.
Dan Sokolowski. Hi, Dan. He says, Happy New Year, TPS team. I'm looking for a new reverb pedal. What are your personal favourites? I want to replace my TC Hall of Fame. The CXM is too expensive.
Okay.
We feel you.
I really like. Okay, this might sound a bit crazy, but the Carl Martin Headroom, the small box spring reverb, I love that thing. If you like an analog spring sound, but if you want a simple, pedal reverb, I think the Electro Harmonics reverb pedals are
Holy Grail.
the Holy Grail. I think is a really wonderful, often overlooked
Yeah.
Reverb pedal.
I would definitely check out Universal Audio's offerings.
Yeah.
So at the top of the tree, you've got the golden reverberator,
Yeah.
which is pretty fantastic. And then there's a couple of options that also have delay bits and bobs built into them.
Delverb.
But they've also just done some single stomps, which are on their way here. And I'm really interested. They've done one called can't remember what it's called, but it's based on everything I like about the 224, the Lexicon.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So as you may or may not know, mine and Dan's favourite reverbs is the CXM. But since I've been using it as outboard gear here in our studio, I don't want to put it back on my pedal board because it's too much hassle to get it on and off the whole time. Plus, I can't believe I'm actually saying this. Having heard it as outboard, it feels wasted on the pedal board. I know. I can't actually believe I just said that. So I'm going to try the new UA, the little one. They're sending that for us to try along with the other new ones. And I've got the golden on there at the moment. Because, and this, sorry, to eventually come round to the point, what do you want the reverb to do is the question. So if you want a spring emulation, definitely check out Source Audio Ventris.
Yeah.
It's really, really excellent.
Yeah. Amazing.
J-Rocket do one called the Mr. Moto, right? It's got tremolo in it and a one-button reverb. Sounds flipping fantastic.
Yep.
J-Rocket Mr. Moto.
Yep.
But if you want... I don't want the spring reverb emulations. I'm not interested in that because I've got lovely spring reverb in my amp. What I want are the rooms and the plates. Therefore, something like the UA Golden or hopefully this new thing that I'm going to be trying out really, really do a good job of all that stuff.
Sure.
There are some also slightly more lo-fi takes on it. So something like the Meteor from Caroline Guitar. I think it's the Meteor. Anyway, the Caroline Guitar reverb. I've got the delay on the board at the moment, which just is flipping brilliant.
Cool.
That one.
Yeah, yeah.
Whatever that is. Sorry, I'm pointing and I'll show you. Yeah, so the delay is called the Megabyte.
Look at that tidy thing.
And I think the reverb's called the Meteor. But speaking personally, I prefer those kinds of things to the very hi-fi, something like you get in the Strymon Cloudburst
Absolutely.
all that stuff is overblown to me.
Yep.
I like the stuff that's much more funky sounding, for want of a better word. But funky in the sort of American vernacular.
Stanislav Migra has reminded me, T-Rex roommate.
Oh yeah, if you can find one.
Yeah, I've got mine, which is over the road, I think.
Yeah, I mean that's been a long time since that's been made. But
they are seriously.
Yeah, so there's
seriously great.
loads of really good ones out there, and it's becoming virtually impossible to sift.
Yeah.
I suggested let me try and remember what this little small universal audio one is called. Somebody might be talking about it in the comments. Yes, David Rustad, the single stop UA lexicon, the Evermore. That's exactly what I'm talking about, David.
Right.
It's called the Evermore by Universal Audio. It's their 224 plug-in in a pedal with analog drive-through.
No way.
Win. And it's got maybe 5 knobs, but it's got the bass, middle, and treble like you've got on there.
Stop it.
And I have high hopes that that's going to enable me to, because I don't need stereo, right? Because I run wet dry and it's mono. I've got no use for stereo really. I mean, I've got a bit overblown with it on the big board, but I'm giving all that up. The Chase Bliss one is going to stay in the studio, and if this works, I've got high hopes for it because it's that big, and there's one button, one foot switch,
Okay.
no presets, all the things I don't want.
Awesome.
So we'll see. It's on its way in, and we will do a show on that because maybe we'll get 4 or 5 of those, and just have a listen. Just have a listen. Anyway, I hope that wasn't too confusing, and there are some good options in there for you. Justin Baylog. Hi Justin, really nice to hear from you, buddy. He says, I picked up a Silver Sky, a PRS Silver Sky, and I love it. As a lifelong Les Paul guy, what should I start to explore in terms of amps and gain stacking? Also, I have some gear I need to ship to you. How do I do that? Looking forward to 2024 with TPS. Oh yeah, because maybe you're coming to an experience day. Oh God, shipping gear to us, that is a world of pain, Justin. So if there's any way around it, let us know and we'll see if we can access the gear here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Amps and gain stacking. So what the Silver Sky Ergo Hi-Fi Strat is missing compared to a Les Paul is a whole big bunch of mid and low mid-range.
Right.
Which is why so many Strat players like things like Tube Screamers, because it puts it right back in a restorative way, and also in a way that boosts those kind of frequencies. So think about mid-boosty type things, and sort of fattening pedals. Stuff like EP Boost can be really good.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously Tube Screamers, but they are really Marmite for a lot of people. A lot of people don't like the nasal nature of a Tube Screamer. But if you look at something like the Keeley Noble Screamer, for example, then all of that stuff's tailorable, for want of a better word, in a really nice way. So Noble Screamer could be a good shout. But yeah, you just want a bit more. You want a bit more mid fatness and mid boost.
Yeah. I don't have, from my time playing Strats, the one of the great things about the Strat, you can have the mid thing in there, but also when you go to something like a blues driver or something more like flatter frequency, it's great to sing over.
Yeah.
But yeah, a mid boosty thing with a Strat is a match made in heaven.
But I think if we could encourage you in any direction, it's try not to just make the Silver Sky sound like your Les Paul. Try, if you can find a way to do it, try and find what that guitar does slightly better than the Les Paul, perhaps, or opens up in you that you can't get from the Les Paul. And one of those things will be the 2 and 4 positions. So have a play around with position 2 and 4 on a selector switch. Be a sound that you just can't get anywhere near on a Les Paul, and that might open some things out. I've always found that unless you want to do the Stevie Ray thing and like the Strato Blaster kind of thing, so Philip Say, Stevie Ray, Kenny Wayne Shepherd, all those dudes who are either in E flat or standard but hit the guitar loud through Fender amps or Tube Screamers. Unless leaving that aside for 1 second, one thing I love with a Strat compared to a Les Paul is you can really turn the amp up and just let the guitar, give the guitar more space to bloom into, and you do less work, which might sound counterintuitive, but that's where you get the sweetness from. So turn it up, experiment with those controls, and let your fingers do the work.
I was. Thank you to the person that said this. The Walrus Audio Fathom reverb. That is a spectacular sounding thing. I do like that very much.
Back to the previous question.
Yes.
Yeah, so Fathom does a bunch of kind of modulated reverbs, doesn't it?
Modulated reverbs also has a sustain foot switch on there. Analog drive-through, really, really lovely.
So not a classic plate or room type of sound, much more an affected-y kind of sound. Bearing in mind that question, what do you want the reverb to do?
Yeah.
So if you're minded towards things like cloudburst, what are they called, shimmer type sounds, and the sort of more effecty reverbs, Fathom is a great shout. I think it might be able to do more standard reverbs, but its party trick is the more effecty stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
If I'm remembering correctly. Anyway, enjoy that, Justin. Enjoy the Silver Sky. Michael Giliberto. Hi, Michael. Happy New Year to everyone. Dan, how was your holiday down under?
Unreal. Is this the question?
Nope.
Okay.
Well, actually, that was the question.
So I had an extraordinary time. I wish I did a little bit of filming, filmed an interview with my sister, and her guitar player, which was fascinating. I went to Pedal Empire and hung out there, which was great. Got to finally meet Ian Haig, who was the guitar player from Powderfinger, now plays with the Church. Just a beautiful human, astonishing talent. I had a rehearsal with my brother's band, which was brilliant fun. They're called the Flying Pigs on the Sunshine Coast. And it was, really great fun. So, yes, thank you. I had the best time, and I was very warm, and it was lovely. It's been 6 years since I've been there.
No way.
Yeah,
6 or 4? We had a 6 and 4 confusion earlier.
No, it was 6 years. So it was 4 since I've seen my mum.
Ah, right, because she came here.
She came here, but 6 years since I've been there because COVID and all that shenanigan.
Michael also said a new Dr. Z Z80 showed up for Christmas here in Connecticut. Lucky me. Love to hear what you think of it, Michael. Really, really would love to hear what you think of it. We think Dan's going to really like that amp. That's the whatever it is, the tubes are in parallel or something to give 80 watts.
That's going to ruin me.
Or something. I can't quite remember, but
yeah.
Joshua Alanis says, Mick, are you running full wet or dry incorporated into your wet? Yes, it's what we call TPS wet dry. So it's dual mono is what it actually is. All the overdrives go to both amps, and then delays, reverbs and mods go to only one. So I guess the correct technical term would be dual mono. But we call it wet dry because the wet effects are only in one amp. But yes, both the overdrives and the core tone hits both amps in a big way. Someone is saying you can get holes and plates on the Fathom, so apologies for that. Yeah.
Mod Zaffer says, I just clicked like, and now I'm going to chill out. Yeah, baby.
Brian Carpenter. Hi, Brian. Nice to hear from you. He says, Happy New Year, new gear. I've downsized from wet dry to just a single amp. Friedman Runt 20. Best sounds I've ever got. Cheers for 2024. Sometimes that's what you got to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Darl's guitar player had 2 Friedmans set up. Just colossal.
Sounded good.
Just wonderful.
Nice.
The thing I like about Dave's amps, they've all got a different voice, but there's a line in them. There's a Friedman thing in all of them, which I really dig, and a lot of people obviously dig it as well. And he's such a great amp designer.
Without doubt.
Yeah, just knows his stuff's inside out. Really, really wonderful.
Yeah. Nice one, Brian. Sometimes I hear you on the simplifying front. I'm doing that with my board. It dawned on me that all the gigs I did last year, I only had 3 or 4 pedals on my board because that was all that was appropriate for the gigs, and that's all I could really take. So I thought, hang on, the only time I use this insane board is when we're in here. So maybe I just need to rethink that. So I'm going to start there. I'd rather suspect it will escalate, but I'm going to go back and just go, hang on, what do I really love?
Yeah.
What
sure.
do I love here? This thing, and finding the 345 is a part of that, and the old Strat. They sound so great as guitars on their own. It's like, and it's not about, oh, you shouldn't use pedals with it because it sullies the guitar. That's rubbish. It's all about enhancing it to a level that you're happy with, that works for you. But what is that level for you personally? Which is not to say that's the level for other people, but what works for you? And I'm just going to start there and go, okay, 1 overdrive pedal. What is it? 2 overdrive pedals. Because obviously I can't live with 1 overdrive pedal. That would be insane.
I can barely live with 1 flanger.
Yeah. And then try and it comes from, and we'll discuss this in the video when we make it, it comes from the experience with the recording gear, where the removal of option paralysis enables creativity. And that has happened in such a big way, I kind of want to do it in every part of my life.
Nice.
Decisions, take them away. Options, take them away.
Yeah.
This is what you've got.
Yeah. This is what you want.
Pin it.
This is what you get. This is what you want. This is what you get.
Good. So good. Nice one, Brian. Hope you enjoy that. Neil Tupman. Hi, Neil.
Hi,
he says,
Neil.
Happy New Year. I got a TPS mug from my wife for Christmas.
Then your wife is a legend.
Thank you, Mrs. Neil.
Thank you, Mrs. Neil.
No question, but I bumped into Paul Spink in Whitney on Saturday. He wants TPS band to come back to Fat Lils.
We're doing it.
He says, who do we have to cancel, were his words.
Well, so we're working on it. Andy Timmins is coming over at the end of March, early April. We're trying to get something together.
Yeah. Might be a bit harebrained on the availability of venues, but we are going to try.
Yeah.
So keep an eye
I think
on,
it'll be fine.
Keep an eye on all our mailing lists and stuff. Paul is ace. He's the owner of Fat Lils in Whitney, and his son Zach does the sound there. And they're the best gigs, aren't they? They're just brilliant.
Wonderful. So wonderful.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Andreas Johansson. Hi, Andreas. He says, Strat problems. Oh, God. I can dive bomb or pull the trem up without it going out of tune. Well, that's a pretty good start. But if I bend the G string, it goes 10 cents flat. 3 different luthiers have looked at it without solving it. Any ideas? Yeah, watch. I reference a video in my Strat Trem vlog, and I forget the name of the guy now. I'm really sorry. Watch his video, and he explains this exact phenomenon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he explains it. But if guitar repairers have looked at it and they can't fix it, they will know that it's not the tuner, it's not the string tree, and it's not the nut, and it's not the saddle. Because that's what it would be. That's the only thing it can be, right? Well, actually, what it can be is you bend, something moves and doesn't go back. So you've just got to work out what that thing is. And I don't know how long you've been playing Strats, but those are the things that you just get used to over the years of playing them, where you know that after you've done that, you've got to go doink and just put it back. But no, I can't explain that. It was explained, and I apologise, I can't remember the guy's name. Maybe someone will help me out. But he does explain that. There's a link in my Strat vlog where I talk about the Strat being in tune and all that. It was from about 6 months ago. In the description text, I think, is a link to that video, or certainly I mention it. So, yeah.
Elias Bloom says, oh my goodness, I just put myself through a nervous breakdown installing lollers into my old Korean casino.
Yeah.
And now you tell me I could have simply bought mix, nervous breakdown not included.
You could have done, Elias, yeah. Although we can't ship internationally, I'm afraid to say. or we can, but it's just a massive cost and hassle, which makes it not worth it. Yeah, you can. The casino is for sale, which might seem crazy because it is a great guitar. I love playing it and it sounds good, but fact is,
yeah.
I'm never going to play it while I've got that 345.
There you go.
Yep.
There you go. Oh, Barry from Exact Tones on. G'day, mate.
Hello, Barry. Yeah, so Andres, I'm sorry I can't be more help with that, but if proper guitar repairers have looked at it, there's nothing that I can really add to that, I'm sorry to say. David Burke.
G'day, mate.
How are you, David? Nice to hear from you, buddy. He says, Happy New Year. I'm considering putting a ditto in stereo on my board, but I don't want to use up 2 G3 loops. Is there any other way? Assume if I put it on G3 outputs, I'd ruin the isolation. By the way, 2024 is good so far. Candy Apple Blue R7. Oh, wow.
Ooh.
I remember those. How cool.
Nice.
I don't know if they've done a whole bunch of new ones or you got it used, but I remember them doing some of those.
Yeah. So, what can you do? I mean, you can isolate again after the ditto if you want to. There is a way to bypass the isolation in G3. It's a bit convoluted, but if you take off the front panel and you look in there, you'll see a little switch, which will just bypass the isolation on output 2 if you need to re-isolate after that. Doesn't matter if you... Anyway, very dull. If you have another stereo... But like for me, I have a stereo delay and reverb set up at the end of my chain. And I have them in together. I have my stereo delay, my... the blue one, what's it called? The Otto Machines BIM going into the CXM, and basically they're always on, and I have an expression pedal that increases the mix on both, and they're just basically always there. If you have a stereo pedal at the end of your chain that's always on, you can always put the looper in with that pedal, and because you need to turn the looper on with your foot anyway, just have it accessible and bang it on when you need it. I know what you mean. It's, just having the looper can be a bit of a thing if you need to give up 2 loops to add a stereo looper. So I'm assuming that you've got your other stereo stuff in there. If there's a pedal that you have on often, just stick the looper on that. In fact, if it's, let's say you've got a delay on often, just include it in that loop and have the delay on when you do the looping. Simples. That'll do it.
There you go. Or you could add a humdinger.
Or you could add a humdinger after it.
Yeah. If you needed to.
Yeah.
It'd be worth trying it to see if isolation was a problem. Because sometimes it might not be.
Yeah. Just, give it a go.
Yeah. Blues Git says, you have £1,500 to spend and you're going to the USA later this year from the UK.
Okay.
Would you be better buying your guitar in the US? Possibly.
Yeah, that's a very good question, actually. Yeah,
So-
quite possibly.
Yeah, depending on the exchange rate, of course, you may well. And that's an easy calculation to do if you find a guitar you like. The problem happens when you bring that guitar back, you would be required to pay VAT and an import duty on it, which would cancel out any saving you made.
Yeah.
VAT at 20% and an import duty of, I don't know, could be 9%, could be 13%. Legally speaking. We do know of people who have just gone out and bought a guitar and walked back through with it and not done so. That is illegal.
It is illegal, and we would never recommend that.
And you can get into all kinds of trouble doing it, so we wouldn't suggest that you do that. And it doesn't matter if the guitar's second hand, blah, 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 blah. And Yeah. We even know people that have taken empty gig bags and come back with full ones, gone out with cheap guitars and come back with expensive ones, and left the cheap guitar there. Customs are really smart.
Yeah.
They really know their stuff. So yeah, it's up to you if you want to chance it or not. You might save a bit. Of course, in the interests of our retailing friends, we would say, please don't do that and buy here.
Yeah.
So yeah, all depends on the guitar, really, doesn't it? If there's something you find out that's just so amazing, you fall in love with it. Being a person of cautious disposition,
Are you of cautious disposition?
I am when it comes to things like criminal records.
Well, I'm Australian, so
Yeah. Well, it is. If you don't think about this, too many speeding fines, can't go to the US.
no way.
It depends the nature of the speeding fine.
Oh, okay.
Get
okay,
done
got
for
you.
illegal importation of goods into the UK, can't go back to the US, etc., etc., etc. So it's up to you if you want to take the risk. It depends on the guitar, I would say. If I found a guitar that I just fell in love with so much that I would have it legally imported and pay the duty, but
Yeah.
that's just me. That's just me. Elliot Green. Hello, Elliot. Nice to hear from you, buddy. He says, Happy New Year. The Brothers Landreth were killer. And my wife picked me up a Joey Mjolnir,
Ah, lovely.
which really rocks for Christmas. What do you think about the claim the size of the pedal affects the tone? And if it does, how? Here's some thin ice that we could step out onto, Dan.
So, for me, it's not the size of the pedal, but the layout on the PCB. That affects the tone. Layout is a big deal. And the way that, and certainly with the old school big components and the way that interact together. Yeah. And sometimes with that sort of layout, you need more space in the PCB. You need a bigger enclosure. Yeah, that's as much thin ice as I'm going out on.
Have a look at my proposed pedal board for this year.
That's very cool.
Does that answer your question? Yeah. No, it would be very hard to say that it makes any difference, and it would be very hard to prove it in any sort of test. So I wouldn't want to go out on a limb. It does so happen that all the stuff I like tends to be quite big. But that would be a correlation, not a causation. We're going to be talking about logic.
Cool.
And we mustn't confuse the two.
No. I haven't confused the one yet, so the two.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just... maybe I need new glasses. Would larger pedal enclosures stop overheating? It depends on the current draw of the pedal. Ventilation, if you've got a pedal that heats up, if you've got like a valve overdrive pedal, generally they'll have vents and stuff on the side of them. But if you've got, a pedal that draws a lot of current and it's in a small enclosure, that is tricky. But still, if it's a bigger enclosure with more space and more air to heat up, it will take longer to heat up, but still what you want is vents for that sort of a thing.
Yeah. That's one of the things with tube pedals, obviously, because you've got a little bit, if they're running at any significant voltage, you've probably got a bit of heat in there. So
Yeah.
to do that. Liquid cooled big box pedals are going to be all the rage in 2024, says Christian Hanley. Slightly amazed that no one's done it with a fuzz, to be fair.
The liquid cooled fuzz.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got possibly my favourite sounding pedal of all is my Dan Drive Optimus machine, but I can't use it in here because it gets too hot to use in here.
Wow.
And it goes all screwy and doesn't sound as good. So,
where is Gordon? Because I think we were talking about last year. We were talking about there is a cooling technology that you can put into the base plate of a pedal. I think it's a very interesting idea.
Yeah. Why not? Jeremy Summers, hi Leggins. My bought me. There's a word missing, so it could be brother, dad, wife, son, dog. Probably not dog. Bought me TPS t-shirt and socks. Love them.
Oh, thank you, buddy.
Did I just hear the casino is for sale? Yes, Jeremy. If you go to thatpedalshow.com, head to more. And then in there will be a thing called personal gear for sale. Dan and I are offloading some stuff in order to fund new purchases. I've got a few things on there currently. We'll add to that. Dan's stuff will go up in due course. So just keep an eye on it as stuff goes up. We're not doing a direct purchase thing. You've got to contact us first because it's just too complex to do it. And I don't want to do it through Reverb and stuff because I just don't. Rather keep it in a TPS family if at all possible. So yeah, the casino's on there. It's a
great guitar.
It's
the Lollas are awesome.
I don't even want to say ambitiously priced. It's sensibly priced. It's 750 quid, which might seem a bit much considering I only paid 290 for it. But it's also got 400 quid's worth of Lollas in it.
There you go.
At least.
Yeah.
Plus
and hours and hours
and
of you screaming.
The labour of doing it. So I don't think it's overpriced. Oh, and I'm going to chuck in a Gator Gibson style hard case with the pink lining. So
oh, cool.
That's probably worth 100 quid. Anyway, there we are.
Airfire says, I'm hoping that I've snagged one of the things on the list.
Oh my God.
Ah.
Oh my God, Ed. I hope you have as well, buddy. Sean Finch. No question from you, Sean. So I'll just check if BV has... No question from you, buddy. So I'm sorry if we've missed it. We'll look out for any updates on that. My flipping text messages are overflowing.
John O'Neill. Hey Dan, how's the jet lag? It's a thing. It's a thing.
I'm looking forward to our after dinner conversation this evening. Mind you, you'll probably be awake again by then.
We'll see. We can have an early breakfast conversation like 4:30. That'll be riveting.
What's it been, a week you've been back? 6 days, 5 days?
Yeah, but because I've had the op, and that's kept me up. You know, there's like 3 solid days without any sleep.
And the penis reduction.
Yep, just got the one now.
Sean Juramilatos. Hi, Sean. Nice to hear from you, mate. He says... there we go. More toilet humour like Anderton's, I think, is a goal for this year. Happy New Year, you pedal legends, says Sean Juramilatos. Thinking about replacing the neck on my custom shop Strat with a 7.25 radius board. Is that a crazy idea? I'm going to say yes. Presumably it's got a 9.5, has it? You could. Depends how much... right. Is it maple or rosewood? It might be possible to put a shallower radius through the fretboard and have it refretted. It's common practice to flatten them out a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, do like a compound radius thing.
But I don't know if you could actually make it curvier without losing too much wood. I think it'd be too much from a 9.5. Anyway, talk to a guitar repair about it, you never know. As a harebrained idea. Be funny to get laughed out the shop anyway. Oh man, replacing necks and stuff is so tough. Because you just don't know. You just don't know.
It is a tricky thing.
You don't know.
No.
They're yeah. I would say, trying to think this through, if there's something about that guitar you don't love, look to trade it for one that you do.
Yeah.
But if there's something about the guitar you really do love and you think it's worth the change, go for it. But you might just be better off going, actually, there's something about this guitar I don't love, and therefore I should look to offload it to someone who does sell it to someone who does, and acquire the guitar that I do love. What's the matter?
Doormat has said, serious conversation, nerdy conversation, some philosophy, penis reduction. Could you ask for more from a show? Oh, that's funny.
And all I'll say about that is that in the sort of pain of guitar journey I've had over the past 4 or 5 years, arriving at a place where the instruments really do speak to you is
it's everything.
It's literally everything.
Yeah.
And there might, I'm not saying I've reached the top of the mountain. I'm saying it's a journey, and we continue on that journey. And it might be time for you to take a different step to continue that well-worn out analogy. So I would, yeah. You just don't know what you're going to get if you replace the neck. You might love it. You might not love it. It might not be the thing that you thought it was.
It's a risk.
Yeah.
It's a definite risk. I've never been lucky with those risks.
Yeah.
But I know people who have, so
I would look to source a guitar that you really do love and then trade. Yeah. Yep. Clabber P. Also nothing from you. Apologies if we've missed that. Clabber. Yep. Happy New Year, TPS team, says Gargantua. Oh, this will be Jason. Yes, it is Jason. And thank you for your kindness, Jason. That is super kind of you. He says, have a drink of that Weller for me. We are saving it for a special occasion. Jason bought us the most amazing bottle of whiskey, bottle of Weller bourbon. I don't think neither Dan nor I has been in the mood to drink bourbon for some time.
no.
But maybe that day is coming, Daniel.
Yeah, I feel a day is coming.
Yeah.
For some imbibing.
Perhaps. I'm just going to check Sir Google of Calendarshire. Ergo, my other boss.
Stuart Cochran says, Dan, your new Johnny Marr Jag, have you done any setup changes to it? I'll tell you what I have done.
Friday the 15th of March is my 50th birthday.
Party!
There will be a show on it.
Party in the house.
I'm just going to say this.
I'm going to
say this. There'll be because it's a Friday, there will need to be a show.
Yes.
We could do a live show.
Party!
With drinking. And friends.
Come on.
Let's do that.
Let's do that.
Okay, that's when we're going to crack the Weller. I'll just better make sure my wife hasn't arranged to take me to Barbados or somewhere, which is unlikely because we can't take Rosie. But if we're going to be here on Friday the 15th, we'll do a live show. If not, we'll pre-record it, like all good telly. Sorry, the question was, have you made any modifications?
Paul, what I've done is I've put a mastery bridge on here, and it's helped immeasurably with the... I was having trouble with tuning. I mean, I haven't touched this since before Christmas. And it's not bad. But yeah. I love this guitar. I absolutely love it. The neck is very special.
It's a groovy machine.
So I'm going to sell it. Find a 64.
We're not selling that.
No. I honestly, the minute I got this guitar, I knew it was a keeper. Really, really love it.
Anyway, Jason actually did have a question. Gargantua did have a question, which was, what other rabbit holes do you guys go down outside of Guitar Gear? Why not enable other bad habits for us?
Other rabbit holes.
I'm all in. Spaniel is my other
Spaniel.
major hobby in life.
Yeah. Well, my it's jiu-jitsu for me is my other major thing. It's like music, jiu-jitsu, and friends and family, and that's my happy triangle.
Yeah. Just guitars and Spaniel for me.
Yeah. I trained at a really great club in Australia while I was there, and it was 40 degrees outside, sun beaming in, like directly onto the mats, and I got 15 minutes into rolling, and I nearly died. It was awesome.
Cameras and all that was definitely a rabbit hole for me for a while when we were trying to figure all that out.
Oh yeah, the studio gear.
And the studio gear is the next precipice on which we stand. But I don't think we'll be buying any new studio gear for a while, because there's a lot of headroom in this.
Oh, it sounds so good.
Yeah.
They've got the Paul Stacey video coming out on Friday. I'll just have some of the audio.
It's not coming out Friday.
It's not coming out on Friday. It'll be another time.
Paul wants to come back, and he's learnt his rig, and he wants to play properly with a high watt. And I've said, all right, let's do that.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Like we did with Jack.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So
All
it's
right.
like, because Dan's put some stuff together for Paul. We had a great chat. He was, shall we say, a little bit nervous about his playing in the video.
Oh, okay.
Not that he had any need to be. And he wants to come back with his proper amps and having learnt the board
Okay.
and hit us with a high watt.
Okay.
And I'm kind of up for that.
Yeah.
I'm kind of up
totally.
for that. So, yeah, sorry to cut across you.
No,
Yeah,
no
again.
worries. All good.
What was the question? Oh yeah, so recording gear.
Yeah.
I might buy a Land Rover this year.
Come on.
I'm so sick of modern cars. I am sick of modern cars. I want an analog.
Are you sick of modern cars?
I want an analog car that
I
a
love that
person,
idea.
an actual mechanic can fix.
With hair dryers in the vents.
Just that when it goes wrong, it can be fixed by a human being. I took my car, right? So I'm the idiot because I bought a, I don't know, 6-year-old Mercedes-Benz. And it developed, the engine light, right, comes on. And you feel a gloved fist come up through the seat.
The only fault is the light, and it costs like ridiculous money to fix.
Yeah, a spiked glove. Just makes its presence felt underneath the driver's seat.
Dude, I don't know if I showed you this.
Do you know what Mercedes-Benz labour rate is?
No idea.
£171 an hour.
Moon
'Cause my local
river
garage
wider than a mile.
Can't fix it. Got to be done by Mercedes. Now I'm the idiot for buying a Mercedes, but so I want an analog car.
That's my brother's.
Oh yeah, he's got the
Yeah.
good version of mine.
Right. It's
Yeah. Oh no, he's got the next one up, good version.
yeah.
V8 bi-turbo.
It was
It's
like
not slow, is it?
0 to 100 in like 3 point something seconds,
yeah.
and he's like, check this out, and pinned me to the seat.
Yeah,
in it.
yeah, they're not slow.
Insane.
They're not slow. So yeah, Land Rover might be my folly this year.
I'm just going to I'm going to drive my car into the ground, I think. I still really enjoy driving it. And it's been very good. I've been very fortunate.
Yeah, you've been really lucky with that car.
Yeah.
Dan has a BMW
X3.
SUV type thing,
Mm-hmm.
and you've driven and driven and driven and driven that thing.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I'm now creating a problem. And that has been a flipping... Michael D, just get a Honda and call it a day. I'm almost with you, Michael. I said to Catherine we should get a Japanese car, bulletproof, not actually bulletproof, but solid, engine super solid. She's not into it, but anyway. Yeah.
Chris Turner, that's actually what Spinal Tap's Smell the Glove was all about. Car repair. Like the cut of your jib, sir.
Yeah. John Pardo says, I'm seeing the Stacey twins in Thursday in Worcester with Jason Rubello. Yes, I'm seeing them on Wednesday. Actually, that might
They're
be
here almost, aren't
different band. Paul's here on Wednesday.
Yeah, Paul's here playing at Lottie's.
I'm for the first time ever, I'm going to go to the Ronnie Scott's gigs.
When's that?
I'm going on Saturday the 20th.
Okay. Have you booked a ticket?
I have.
I bet you they're all gone.
55 quid.
Moon River, wider than a mile.
Yeah.
You do any time, Doc?
Yeah. Lawnmowers, says Andy Cooper. And Marcus Reeve says lawnmowers as well. Yeah. The lawnmower will be for sale in the spring if anyone's interested.
It'll be on the website.
Yeah, in a really nice Atco, maybe it's a 19. Yeah, Danielle Williams says, had Toyotas for the last 5 years, not had a single problem. Totally. That was the other option, a Hilux.
I went 4-wheel driving in a Hilux in Australia. Dude, they are awesome. Absolutely brilliant fun. On the dunes, sand dunes.
Yeah.
Man, I'll show you some videos later.
Wicked.
Brilliant fun.
Wicked. Mark Nicholas says, might I suggest a Mercedes W123 or 124 estate? Pleasingly analogue and easy to fix. If that is like a 80s 190 kind of thing, I did look down that route, but finding it in any sort of running conditions. So I bought an older one a couple of years ago, thinking that would go to 250k, no worries. Flipping thing fell to bits. It was so annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, just a slight tangent on cars. I go through phases. I bought a brand new car once because the finance was good. I bought bangers, thinking that, buy a banger for however much, run it, take it back in 2 years or a year, buy another banger.
Never works.
Or, as I've done most recently, buy a sort of 5-6 year old car that's got low miles and all the rest of it. I worked it out. Each one of those cars, brand new 5-6 years old banger, has cost me the same in the year.
No way.
Pretty much.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, all right, it's a bit of deposit with a new car, but take that out, like the monthly amount that it's cost me over the year when you take into consideration repairs, major crap, road vehicle fund license and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's been not a million miles away.
Would you ever go electric?
Not currently.
Right.
I don't think the current technology is the right
Not there yet.
technology. I
Okay.
think there's going to be a huge pile of electric cars and batteries somewhere someday.
Okay.
I think it's my motivated cognition on it, because I don't know the science, is that they are deeply not good for the environment.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I don't know that to be a fact. Now, I don't do very many miles, right? If I was doing 25,000 miles a year, then the CO2 argument is very easy to make. But then what do you do when that thing stops working? Where does that battery go? Have you ever been into a service station
Don't they have
when there's a traffic jam
right?
and you watch all the electric cars queuing because they need to charge and can't because there aren't enough queuing stations?
Oh yes, okay. I haven't seen that personally, but I believe it's a thing.
I'd have a hybrid, actually.
I think hybrids are a good shout.
Totally have a
actually.
hybrid. A friend of mine's got a Mini Countryman hybrid, and he reckons he returns 80 miles per gallon out of that.
No way.
Charged it 3 times in its lifetime.
Wow.
Because it's self-charging. But there's got to be a new technology around the corner, hasn't there? Hydrogen's a bit explodey still.
Yeah, but if they get that nailed, it'll be amazing.
Yeah. I think this is the first generation of consumer available electric cars in any sort of sensible way. Surely the technology is going to get exponentially better, exponentially more quickly.
Yeah, definitely.
So, but then I'm not an early adopter about anything.
Right.
Any new tech, I'm. If you read various marketing books, you'll see a big curve, and you've got 4 types of consumer: early adopters, the first batch of the first wave, the second batch of the first wave, and then the late. And if you're launching a product, you need to understand that about how things are accepted with new technology into markets. I'm definitely in the last.
You still have a dial phone with sparks and stuff
Yeah.
in it if they were still making that thing.
Well, no, because by now I would have a mobile phone.
Yeah.
But I bought an air fryer over Christmas. Late adopter.
Yeah.
Got an air fryer?
No.
Okay, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
It is absolutely fantastic.
You got Teflon things? The Teflon things that they cook in there?
Are you going to talk about PFAs?
I'm going to talk, well, just I am wary of that
Because of the plastics?
because of the heating up the Teflon
Yeah,
specifically.
yeah. We watched a really interesting thing on that actually about and like microwavable meals that have those plastics in as well, like cancer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, interesting.
Well,
Yeah, but I will just finish that by saying all of this is, we believe what we want to believe, don't we?
Yeah.
You actually do have to do the science yourself if you want to say anything like that. And I don't. Anyway, well, does fried air taste better? Says Moon. It's quick. And it's less fatty. I quite like that. Full size truck here in Canada, says LW1. Yeah. Yeah, nice. David Burke says petrol's a bit explodey too, and we learnt to cope with that. Indeed. Yeah.
Oh, the humanity.
Yeah. Todd Roy says a Jeep.
Guitar Time Process just got here and arrived to electric cars and air fryers.
These are Dan and I think we could say are easing very, very disgracefully into our middle ages, and these are the things we have to worry about now. This, no problem, we got this sorted. Leyland Berg says apparently hybrids have a lower carbon footprint than all electric cars.
Yeah, I totally believe that.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, blah blah blah. Ford Transit says DMK75. I'm totally with you.
You wanted a van for the longest time.
Yeah, Catherine just won't have it.
All right.
Van is my vehicle spirit animal. And I apologise if spirit animal is a cultural appropriative term. Just thinking back to the morning show. Anyway, Albus Band.
That's a good show. That.
The morning show.
Yeah.
It's excellent.
Very good.
It's so good. I did watch a flipping brilliant documentary yesterday on the Boeing 747 jumbo jet.
Right.
That's
Yes, you sent me a text.
Currently on BBC 4.
Right.
Wow. They got like 2 days to go to the press launch. It doesn't work. The paint's still wet. Brilliant. And obviously it couldn't fly at that point. They didn't know if it was going to fly.
No
The only
way.
time they knew it was going to fly was when they hung the engines on it and took off.
Wow.
Was
Was that the 80s?
70s?
Oh,
No,
okay.
68 it started.
No way.
Am I getting that right? Might even have been 66. It was pretty, yeah, because I remember saying to Catherine, oh my God, the jumbo jet is about to be rolled off the prototype and Hendrix is in his prime. I remember saying that.
Right.
Like, it's so incongruous.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and it was costing. So they got funding from Pan Am, and Boeing had joined together in a sort of JV to make it happen. And as they're getting it off the ground, they build the biggest building that had ever been built.
What, to house the thing?
Yeah. And apparently the current Boeing factory is the biggest building on Earth.
No way.
Something like that. And so they get going with this thing, and it's costing $10 million a day in 1960 whatever to keep this thing running. And they were also developing a supersonic aircraft at the same time to rival Concorde, which they thought would be the thing. They never thought the jumbo would take off, as it were, would catch on. They'd sell a few of them, whatever, because Pan Am had ordered a bunch. And they have to. They're short of money, and as always happens in corporate environments, the suits will get together and say, "We need to save some money. Let's lay some people off." So they were going to lay off a quarter of their engineers.
Right.
How many engineers do you think a quarter of Boeing's engineers was? 1,000. There were 4,000 engineers on the 747 project.
That is outrageous. Far out.
Sorry, more tangents.
The Boeing building has its own climate. That's how big it is, says Moon. That's
Yes.
incredible.
They said that in the thing. Clouds can form in the ceiling of it.
That's great.
Thoughts on Scott McKeon's fuzzes? says Sean
Fantastic.
Guitar.
Absolutely fantastic. I love them. They're
Yeah.
brilliant.
Yeah. Totally agree.
Also, the Scott McKeon Fuzz t-shirt is one of the nicest, softest t-shirts I've ever worn. It's great. I wear it to bed. It's lovely.
Chris Turner says, what about some sort of moped and sidecar for TPS? Like pure Wallace and Gromit style. That would be so fitting.
Dude, it's the new intro. We have to make that happen. A couple of orange helmets.
Oh.
Do we know anyone that there must be someone around here that has one that we can use for a shot for us. Come on, that would be amazing.
Be like Antiques Roadshow. See if we could get Fiona Bruce on. Good, better, best. One of these guitars is worth 10p. One of them's worth 25 grand. Now let me see. This one's shiny.
Actually, you've got that wrong.
Albus Band, Aaron. He says, I shouldn't talk though. I'm getting a little shaggy myself.
I better not stand too close or
People might think I'm part of the band.
I'm joking, of course.
There we are. Happy New Year. What are your favourite pizza toppings, says Aaron?
Ham pineapple.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love ham pineapple on a pizza.
I like a Fiorentina myself. So,
It's got to have an egg in the middle though.
yes, exactly that. Yeah, with spinach or rocket, a white sauce, egg. Failing that, because that is a bit middle class, failing that, standard spicy pepperoni. I had one on Saturday night maybe. It was just great. It was just great.
I haven't had pizza. Was it pizza when we went to the Guitar Breaks thing and we went on a lunch jaunt and went to that restaurant and had those pizzas?
You haven't had pizza since then?
No. I've had a
You had
slice
some in Rome, didn't
here and
you?
there,
Yeah.
but I haven't thought to myself, I'll have a pizza.
Yeah, well, you don't do bread, do you?
I don't do much wheat.
Yeah.
I can do it a little bit, but if I do too much, it's
Well, as the weather improves, Daniel, I'll finally get round to cooking you a pizza in my pizza oven.
yeah, that would be lovely. I have had pizza from your pizza oven,
Have you?
I think. Oh no, I've seen great pictures.
Yeah. And then sometimes ham and mushroom is what you need. Ham and garlic mushroom works pretty good.
I think the fewer, because when I was a kid, I would get a frozen pizza and pile it high with other stuff. And it's like now, it's like the fewer.
That's a Mug's pizza, mate.
There's a Mug's pizza, some
Yeah.
Mug's cheese.
It's all about the base. It's all about the dough. Anyway, Sean Jeremy Latos is last in. He says, I love a 7¼ radius, but replacing a custom shop strat neck seems crazy in general. Yeah, although let us reflect on Sir Eric of Claptonshire, who in the mid-1970s was buying up 50s and 60s strats and swapping the bits. You know, that's how Blackie was born.
And that's also Stevie Ray's #1 as well. Was a bit
Yeah, it was a bit so it's not without precedent. I'm kind of interested to know what the neck is, Sean, you want to get rid of, the 9½. Because, do you remember Transit Van, our black Strat with the rosewood neck?
That was a great guitar.
Yeah, I have half had an eye on a maple neck for that. So it's like a 50s I think it would work really well because the issue I have with that guitar is the neck's a bit too small.
Right.
And it sounds lovely, but turn it into like a 55, 56 style
Okay.
thing. I mean, bear in mind that probably would have been Ash and this is older, but anyway, let's not go there. Because it's a lovely light body and it's a great sounding guitar. It might work well with a maple neck. What are you getting rid of? What are you getting rid of? Let us know. Maybe we can Terry Tibbs.
That thing.
Got your
that Matt
Maserati.
spent, the Terry Tibbs thing. That was hilarious.
No, so what song is that, Dan?
I don't know.
Empty Arms.
Empty Arms.
But not in that key. I think it's on Soul to Soul, which would be appropriate, sort of, because on the front of Soul to Soul he's playing a red 335.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not exactly very Stevie Ray playing there, but this guitar is ace.
I know.
Anyway, on that note, a great big bunch of thank yous for being with us. It is nice to be back.
It's lovely to be back.
It's nice to be back. Cold Acre wants to know, did you get the scar by banging the burrito stand like Homer?
Yes, wrong answers only from this point on. The best one I saw so far was I've had a software upgrade. That was good.
Yes. Good.
Man, listen to this thing. It's so good.
Good. Stevie likes pineapple on his Strat, apparently, says Moon. Good. Okay. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for being with us tonight and being back in the saddle, as it were. See you on Friday for a show. Not entirely sure what it'll be yet. Got a couple of simple ideas coming up. I want to put together this simple board, which we might explore. The sort of building blocks of a simple yet highly uncompromised board.
Yeah.
We also want to talk about what the hell's the point of a stereo guitar anyway, before I mod that 345, which should be a bit of fun. We got some really interesting new bits of fuzzy things that have turned up, so we'll do that.
Mm-hmm.
And then, who knows, some other things. Let us know if you've got any burning ideas for shows. We'd like to get into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, as always, there are no answers. Only better questions.
Indeed. Indeed.
My question for this moment, Daniel.
Meat feast.
Yes.
What are we having?
I don't know. We have to make that decision. I'm trying to work out what that is in musical form. That sounds like... That sounds like a fist-shaped pork chop. I do remember one of my first trips to America, going to the House of Blues on Sunset Strip and ordering a pork chop. And I swear to you, it was the size of... And I was like, what's that? And the waitress said, that's a pork chop. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
No.
Do you remember, what was that, Minneapolis we were at?
Yeah.
Where that's like the biggest mall in the world. You and I went to that, there's like a little restaurant there, and I ordered the pork chop. And it came out, it was caramelized.
Yeah.
And yeah, the size of my head. And I just never had anything like it. I'll never forget the taste of that thing.
Okay, in which case, for those of you who've ever been to northern Germany, Cologne was the last place I had one, was the pork knuckle. Go and have a pork knuckle in Germany.
A pork knuckle. Okay.
Yeah, it's gruesomely unbelievable. Anyway, we're tangenting. Thanks for being with us, BB. Thanks so much for being referee.
Yes, thank you, mate.
And we'll see you Friday for more fun, and next Monday for even more fun. Close up, man.